But it's so, like, don't meet your heroes, etc., 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 all that good stuff. Anyway, you ready?
Yes. We've got some heroes that are good.
Yeah, but, like, you need a healthy separation from them. Like, all heroes you need a
I've
healthy
met some of my
separation from.
podcast heroes at Fantastic Fest, and they were genuinely all lovely people.
They were actually very nice, yes.
Okay, so Caelin's password for Crunchyroll is...
It's actually a very funny password.
Father before the grave. Literally?
Papa? He literally.
So, nothing, no daddy issues.
No daddy
Today.
issues today. In my Fullmetal Alchemist, daddy issues, never. Please ignore the fact that the main villain's name is Father.
Is that what Fury means?
No.
Oh.
No, there's a guy whose name is Father. It's like this whole deal.
Which one? Oh, the god.
The guy, yeah, that guy.
I forgot his name was Father. I just thought that.
No, it's just straight up Father.
Oh, remember Lust?
Hey, remember Lust?
Remember her?
Rip and rest, Lust. We hardly knew you. Alright, welcome back to another episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. I am your host, King Clothier. With me is my co-host,
Dara Whitman.
Hey, Dara, how's it going?
We're back.
It's been a minute. Thank you for waiting, everybody.
Somebody had to leave the country.
Yeah.
In an important part in our country's history.
That's true, guys. I was out of the country on vacation, and while things were away, things happened. And I had to wake up because they happened regular time here and in the middle of the night over there. So I had to wake up very confused for so many reasons. And it was a great experience all around. But now I'm back.
I do love how there was like some like news people like, because like there was like questions about like stuff happening and somebody's like, this isn't a West Wing episode, guys. And then it turned into a West Wing episode.
And then it literally just became a West Wing episode. So we love that. Love the West Wing. West Wing, I think at this point is a guilty pleasure for me because like I know it's like idealistic, you know, kind of neoliberal, but like it's fun sometimes actually, especially
like
early West Wing.
I'm on season 5 now, so like pretty much enjoying it. I know it's not like the best. I know like it went down.
Well, because it was after season 4, then it got weird, and then it like kind of made its way back, but it got weird after season 4, I think.
Well, there was like the other one where because like Rob left and then Sorkin left, so it's like kind of. But I think it feels like it's gonna be one of the shows like it will dip, but it's not gonna like horrifically dip.
Yeah, no, it's still like even at its worst, it's still decent. So.
Unlike Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood,
which never dips.
Never dips.
We love it. So yeah, we are talking today about episode 20, Father Before the Grave, and episode 21, Advance of the Fool. Both of those things are totally fine and don't mean anything bad.
But literally Father Before the Grave.
It's literally Father Before the Grave, because where we left off last episode was Ed coming back to Risenbull and then seeing his father standing before the grave of his mother. So that's it. That's the episode. Let's wrap it up here, folks, and then we will go on home.
Yeah, so like I know. So you said that I was gonna like Hohenheim.
I'm not sure I ever said you were gonna like Hohenheim. I said I like Hohenheim as a character, but that doesn't mean that you were going to. Yeah, I think he's a very interesting character.
But I'm kind of like I think of like because like when you said that he was interesting, that meant that there was a backstory. Of him that made a lot of the stuff that he did, while probably not good, make sense.
Yes.
Because of, and like my theories about like stuff that comes up, and like I'll probably go into more of them later, but like right now, like when he like first like confronts his child.
Yeah.
And like, by the way, like I guess like I don't know if it's like compared to Ed's height, but like he's kind of a giant.
Yeah, he's actually like a tall man, unlike Ed, who is not.
Is that even that short?
He is, yeah. I think no, he's short. I forget. They have his actual height somewhere. I'll have to find it.
Okay.
And put it somewhere. But yeah, no, he's significantly shorter than both of us. So
than me? I'm short.
Yeah, he's shorter than you.
Okay.
So that's short. Short king, etc., etc. But yes, we really just opened back on this episode with where we left off last time.
Papa?
Oh my god, Papa!
You appear to have grown some.
You got daddy
I spoke
issues.
with Pinocchio. You tried human transmutation.
Just no
you
mysteries
can-
here. Ed being Hohenheim for the first time in like 10 years. Just so we all remember, Hohenheim just fled the coop about a decade ago.
He went like bye-bye.
Yeah, it didn't say goodbye to his children. It was just like
it sounded like he was going away on like a business trip.
Yeah.
And then just like never came back, not even like when his wife died.
Correct. Yeah, and now he is reaping what he sows, etc., etc., by standing in front of the grave of his wife who died while he was away. Didn't even come back.
But he also not reprimanded, so he's still like reprimanding his child, who he has no right to reprimand because he's been gone.
Oh yeah.
What possessed you to burn down my home?
Rude.
After what happened, we vowed to never turn back.
Your home. Oh wait, it was.
We did it as a symbol of our resolve.
He wasn't there for how many years?
That's true.
And thought you could erase the memory by destroying the evidence.
Great to see you two, Dad.
You're wrong.
You ran away, and you know it.
But you left.
Yeah.
My guy.
You don't have like much room to talk.
I know, right?
You don't know a damn thing.
Also, why can't you just be like, hey, good to see you?
He's exactly like I was when I was his age.
So you should know how to talk to him better.
Yeah, like what are we doing? Just like you idiot. It's like, what? Maybe if you were there, none of this would have happened.
Sure. So Hohenheim's greeting to Ed is not like, hey son, it's been a minute, hope you've been well. It's, hey, I know you did human transmutation. That was the dumbest thing, you idiot. And it's like, dude. He's like, you weren't even, like, get out of here. Like, this ain't your home. Like, you left. Like, go back to being,
because like,
leave.
Here's the thing, Papa.
Yeah.
If, like, Mom died, because I'm assuming, like, she would have probably died no matter what, because of an illness or whatever.
Yes.
And, like, maybe, Papa, if you were around, and the kids came to you and saying, like, hey, we figured out a way that can maybe bring Mom back to life, he would be like, teach you a lesson about death.
Yeah.
But no.
Right, about like death is permanent, etc., etc. No, except the young boys who are traumatized by the loss of the mother and the fact that they have an absent father are just like, what if we just like try to bring them back to life? That's
but
fine.
Really, like you can't.
Your fault.
It's like a thing of just like trying to be a parent.
Yeah.
To somebody, but you've been gone so long that like you really have no right to be a parent.
Yeah, you have no like tie to that person anymore. So now you're just some stranger rolling up, being like, I think I should tell you how to live your life now, and they're like, no, and like yeah, they're right to say that because like where you been, jerk.
I think the only like really like okay explanation for leaving your children so long and not being able to see them is like if you got like super coronavirus and you had to like isolate fully.
What if the actual truth is Hohenheim just had super COVID this whole time? What a twist that would be. So Hohenheim also asks, he's like, hey man, what happened to that house? Remember there was like a house over there that they lived in.
Like you burned my house down. And we're like, is it your house? Like you weren't there for 10 years, honey.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, his name is probably still on the deed. Let's be real here.
That's fair.
But yeah, so.
And I feel like the thing you're saying about the house, which is kind of like, I forget what, like, go ahead.
Yeah, but he's pretty much just like, hey, where's the house? And it's like, we burned it. Like, that's, that we had to say to ourselves, there is no turning back here. So, like, they had that moment of this, we can only move forward. We don't have anything to go back to. So they burn the house down. And Hohenheim basically calls him out on that. And he was like, that's what? No, he's like, you're just covering up your own mistakes. And you're, like, too scared to, confront the things that have happened and things you've done. So you just took that and instead of just, like, reckoning with it, you just got rid of it. He says, I think he compares it to a child hiding the bed sheets that they wet. So,
but they were children.
Yeah, they were children.
Because like he's right, but also like one, they were children. Two, you weren't there, so like you don't. That's like something I feel like you can say, but after you like say hey to your kid and maybe like explain why you were gone.
Right. And
for so long,
exactly.
Or like apologize at least.
No,
and be like I'm a terrible person.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's just like. And so Ed gets pissed about that because he's just like,
as he should.
Why are you attacking me at my own mother's grave? And he just kind of storms off. And Hohenheim makes a comment. He's like, I was the same way at that age, which actually doesn't help your case. It's more like, well, then you should know how to talk to somebody like that instead of just like coming at him when he gets back from his whirlwind adventure after you've been gone for 10 years. So like Hohenheim not starting off great. Like, we've seen pictures of him, we've seen, like, flashbacks of him, and then he comes back, and then he's not winning us over at all at the start.
Well, listen, I think the good news is here is that he's, like, gonna stay for a long time, and then we're gonna, like, reconcile it right now. We're
really gonna build up his character. He's gonna become, like, someone who stays for a long time, and then really get to know him and appreciate that.
And not gonna just leave the next day without saying goodbye again.
So anyway, he leaves the next day without saying goodbye again. But before that, we do get a couple more scenes with Hohenheim just because we have him. Might as well just get a couple more scenes in there.
Stranger danger?
Aw. Stop staring at him. Son.
It's like a little creepy, but like I get it.
Yeah, it's like no. It's supposed to be like he's unable to connect. Oh, he's like this guy, and you can see like there is this unspoken desire, I think, that he wants to be able to connect with his son, and does not know how to, and has that hesitation and can't really commit to like making that connection, that physical connection, just to even just like be like they're there. But we can see obviously he does not know how to connect, and he's been gone for so long. So he just kind of like leaves the room, unable to really follow through with that.
Did he ever know how to connect with his kids? Because like it felt like they were always like afraid of him, or like But then they also really like alchemy, so they wanted to. But that could also be like a thing. I'm going to impress. Like if I show that I'm interested in alchemy, then Papa will love me. Yeah,
and it's tricky because I think we'll see more. I think uncover of Hohenheim and what he was like in the past, and like his relationship to his kids, I think at a later point. Right now, it does very much give us the impression that he's always been very distant, like emotionally and physically, to his kids, to the point where like he's hardly even a father. He's just a sperm donor at this point.
Right, but I'm also like kind of thinking, at least like with like some flashbacks with Trisha, that like they loved each other. There's signs like I feel like they loved each other.
Yeah, it does feel like the way that Trisha talks about him, and even though in the past like she is not one to like really give up like what happened to him or like where he went, it does seem like she's still cared deeply about him even though he left.
But to me it feels like she knew everything.
It does feel like she knows
the way she was like doing the thing of like not like saying like word like because it never felt like a thing of like I'm upset that my husband just like left me for no reason. It kind of feels like she knew a lot and was like just like and was like just told not to tell because just in case. Yeah. And then like there's like that flashback with I'm going ahead of myself. Like, like that flashback with like a thing of like I promised him that like I wouldn't die before him. Yeah. And I'm kind of like that's like you say that's like a love. That's like so I'm like so we can love. Yeah. Maybe. But the idea we are getting these two conflicting pieces of information because it does feel like and Pinako says like in this very next scene like Trisha was waiting for you. Yeah. Like she didn't like Trisha did not give up on Hohenheim. Like she was waiting for him, and you know she's had that promise at the end for him as well, and you know she had a message for him. So like she knew something that I think still endeared her to him in the way that the boys did not have that. And they were just like, "Hey, Dad, what's up?" Specifically, Ed. Ed's the one with the bigger daddy issues because I think Al was younger, and didn't have as much of that connection. But Ed's the one who's like, "I don't trust that guy. I don't trust like that guy." Yeah, he doesn't have a reason to trust him. So with the information that he has access to, and so we get a scene between Pinako and Hohenheim. Fair.
You haven't changed in the slightest all these years. And you look exactly the same.
You do!
Interesting.
Where have you been all this time? Why didn't you come back sooner? Trisha was waiting for you until the very end.
Yeah, jerk. You know, she pulls out an old picture and she's like, "You haven't changed a bit." And we see an old picture of from a very long time ago where Hohenheim he really does look exactly the same. So it's interesting, isn't it? Interesting, especially when there's some people in the photo who look suspiciously very young, who look very old now. Interesting. Let's not think about that part. So yet we'll get there.
The life form my sons transmuted. Are you positive that it was Trisha?
Huh?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't. It didn't even look human to me.
What else?
So I wouldn't think of it as...
No, it's the eye color or the hair color.
Huh? What are you trying to get at? Are you telling me that wasn't even Trisha?
What are you...
All that those boys sacrificed. You're saying that thing they created wasn't even their mother?
Yeah.
Wasn't it not? Wasn't it
sleep?
What about it made you guys think that was Trisha? And yeah, Pinako's like,
I think we're more like the, scary thing. Where'd your arm and leg go? Where's Al?
Yeah, exactly. We were a little too occupied about the, like, all the crazy stuff that was going on for
we
us
were
to,
more worried
like,
about your children.
Yeah, for us to, like, look at the genetics of the thing that was brought back to, like, really understand, like, how close it was to Trisha. But Pinako says, like, the thing was hardly human anyway. So, but there's this idea that, hey, we're planting this seed that, and we've kind of talked about this before, so I may have given this away a little bit, but, like, the thing that comes back does not look human. It does not look anything like the person that they were trying to bring back anyway. But I think there's still this idea, and we kind of talked about this later, you know, when they're trying to bring something back, they are bringing an element of that thing back. So I think even though that thing didn't look human, I think there was still, like, an underlying question or idea that, you know, they were still attempting to bring Trisha back. So the thing that was going to come back was going to have some kind of resemblance to her.
Yeah.
So Ed is eavesdropping, which, like, I have a feeling that Hohenheim knew that, which is why he radically changed subjects. He was just like, Hohenheim's just like out loud. He's like, I wonder if that thing was Trisha. I'm just asking for no one in particular.
Do we need to traumatize our children more?
So, yeah, Hohenheim, who's just, like, fantastic at traumatizing his children, just throws that one out there. But before we get to see kind of what happens with that, we're going to go back to Central City, because as we remember...
Do we have to?
Yeah, we do, actually. We do have to go back because we need to check in on Al, who, you know, Al, one of the main characters. We do need to know what he's doing. Last time he was around, he got kind of...
knocked around?
He got knocked around a bit because we were, you know, in the process of, like, killing one of the homunculi. But it's fine.
Or eat? You don't even run out of breath?
Uh-huh. I just have to make sure the seal doesn't get harmed.
Oh, yeah. This thing.
That's so cool. So
I don't
you
really care,
are
though.
immortal then, huh?
Get back to Papa.
No, I'm not. Barry mentioned something, and it made me realize that any type of body is incompatible with a foreign soul.
Barry is so good at saying
Pairing
things that
them
traumatize
together,
Al.
The body
rest
will
in peace,
eventually
Barry.
reject
Rest in peace,
it.
Barry.
It could happen tomorrow.
No, it
10
won't,
years
though.
from
Like,
now.
you've got time. It's only
But
been,
it's
like...
inevitable
How
that
long
it
has it
will.
been? Like a year?
No.
A couple of years.
Couple years?
We've got to get you
Well, how
back
long
in
was
your
Barry
regular
alive for?
body.
Who knows?
Hold on.
Exactly.
Ling and Lan Fan are very interested. Again, they want to know the secrets of immortality. They want to know, like, ways around the mortal human experience.
Mm-hmm.
And Al, who has this very fresh in his mind because of everything that happened with Barry the Chopper, who, as we know...
Rest in peace.
Yeah, because he kicked it, and because his body was kind of rejecting his soul, or, like, the, you know... There's some questions that were raised about, like, at what point does the secondary vessel start rejecting the soul, and what does that do to the main body and everything like that, which has some very real implications for Al, because he's been in this suit of armor for years now. At what point is he going to get straight up rejected from it and no longer being able to be in that body? You know, that's something that now we're realizing maybe this does have a countdown. And also, if his real body is somewhere, what's the state of that? But we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So ain't that something? So
It's fine?
yeah.
Oh, you're impervious to pain, and you don't have to eat. It sounds like a great deal to me.
Smack.
No, it isn't! You don't know what you're talking about!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh.
Winry?
Oh, Winry, we love you. She's so teenage girl.
She's not gonna get traumatized at all
I'm coming
during
in.
these few episodes, right?
No.
Okay. Do I believe you?
You shouldn't.
Okay.
You and brother always gotta be the first to explode. I never get the chance to be the one to get mad.
Oh my god, he's so
Did
cute.
you get mad in the one episode where he was having an existential crisis?
Yeah. But that's like one out of every, like,
I guess I can't fall asleep.
100.
I don't think this body will let me.
Oh,
Damn, that sucks.
Sleep is so nice.
So, of course, Ling and Lan Fan think that's what Al's got going on is really cool. Winry is not happy about that because she knows the cost of not having a human body based on things that Al has said. So she gets kind of mad at them for that. Anyway, so we'll go back to Resin Bowl. And Ed has a nightmare. Yay!
He's the only family I have! I won't let you take it!
Yeah, because her dad's a dick.
True.
Do you even know what you're saying? You're the one who tossed his body aside and put him in that armor.
You and I are exactly
Oh, why?
the same.
Why am I
Get
being
here.
reminded?
Accept it, Edward.
monsters.
That was not a monster.
He's a nice boy.
Why did you leave me here like this?
Trauma?
Yay. We all love a good PTSD nightmare. It's confronting his fears about like wanting his brother's body back and like the things that he did, human transmutation, all that stuff. Tucker comes back just to be like, hey, we make monsters, and it's like, shut up. And
do we have to bring him back though? Do I need to be reminded?
Yes, we need to be reminded.
It's already, that's ingrained in my brain.
It will never leave you.
It's ingrained in my brain. I don't need to be reminded.
Yes, you will have that for the rest of your life now. You're welcome.
Your father's about to head out.
Already? Guy, can we not reconnect with our children?
This one. Do you mind if I keep it? It's the only photo we had taken with all four of us.
Aw.
Of course.
Something terrible is going to happen in this country soon. You should escape while you can.
This country's lousy with terrible things. And I can't leave. I've got other people who need me here in case they want to come home.
Pinocchio, we love you.
I've given you my warning.
All right, buddy.
Hey, Hohenheim, wait!
Oh my god, this guy.
I wish I could, Pinocchio.
Am I supposed to like him
It's
yet?
too bad I won't get to enjoy your
I
company.
never said that you were supposed to like him.
What? What's happening?
Like, as he's getting up in the morning, Hohenheim is on his way out.
He's like, bye.
He's like, well, it's time for me to go now. And Pinocchio's like, are you gonna tell me where you're going? He's like, absolutely not. He's like, okay. He takes a photograph to go because apparently there was only one actual photo of the four of them.
Why?
Being Hohenheim, Trisha, and the kids that was ever taken. So
Why?
Pinocchio has a copy of that. I imagine it's because they're from like a small rural town, and this is supposed to be like alternate history, like early 20th century.
Oh, I was assuming it's because Papa left.
Oh, yes. Also because he left and they could never do it again. But I imagine they don't have a lot when they're younger because of just, I imagine access to photography wasn't as easy as we would assume it is. Oh, but yeah, also because he's an absent father and he's just not around to take. We didn't have Photoshop. We couldn't just like cut him out and be like, hold on, let me just get my spare picture of Hohenheim. Just paste him right there.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, so like, Papa, you like come back, you reprimand your son, and like say like you just did all this because you don't want to feel guilty about stuff, and then you just leave.
Yeah.
Like, did you want to recant with your child or not? Why are you here? What's going on?
Yep.
Because this doesn't feel like it felt like a why are you here thing because like you feel remorse, but like you didn't act well on that remorse.
Right. Like, we are very confused about anything that's going on in Hohenheim's brain because he is not letting us in on very much. So he's thinking thoughts. He is not letting us in on what's going on there. But before he leaves, he does issue a warning to Pinocchio. He's like, hey, girlfriend. Hey, my old buddy. Things are about to get ugly. So you should leave the country.
Bye-bye.
He's like, you should leave. And Pinocchio's like, she's like, things are always terrible, but I got people who need me here, so I'm gonna hang around because there's people out there who need somewhere to go home to, and she knows like her role is to be that person that people come home to. Pinocchio, we love you.
Yes.
She knows what her role is, and she's doing that. But so Hohenheim kind of leaves, and that's
Doesn't say goodbye to his son.
No. Does not take time to say goodbye to Ed, and because Hohenheim, be better, do better, Hohenheim.
Something tells me that like it might be like a what's the term? Generational trauma thing. So I feel like his father might also have been not so great.
Maybe it's possible. But yeah, so Hohenheim's got issues.
Does he have daddy issues?
He has some kind of issue, but we'll find out more about that later. But anyway, so that's that. But we're gonna switch gears here. We're still gonna stick with Ed, but now Ed's got it in his head that hey, maybe the thing that you brought back wasn't actually your mother. So he's gonna go find out.
You dick.
Yeah, not great.
What are we doing?
Don't worry about it.
We didn't have a grave?
Don't worry about it.
You're not really gonna dig it up, are you, Ed?
You okay?
Why don't we go back?
Anxiety?
Yeah.
My stumps are aching from the weather. It's about to rain. Let's just hurry and do this.
All right, shortstop. Why are you making Grandma dig up stuff?
We're not gonna. He just tells Pinako we can't move forward until we know this happens. So they go find the spot by the old house where the creature was buried, and they get up to
digging.
Yeah, exhuming the creature, whatever the heck that thing was.
I was gonna say finish this part, and then I have a question. So remind me to ask the question.
Okay.
So what's coming?
Oh, that's not nice.
Is it the nerves thing, or is it anxiety?
I think it's anxiety.
No.
We can do it tomorrow.
I'm not gonna be able to move forward until I know for sure.
God, he's so dramatic.
Besides,
I thought we knew that it wasn't.
You ran away.
I won't run away from this.
Terrible father.
I feel like they knew, but they didn't know. You know what I mean?
Well, there was a lot going on in that moment.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot of blood and missing limbs and bodies. Maybe it would have been better if Papa was more like, "It's okay, son."
Yeah, he's
not
not
you.
gonna.
You douche.
You douche.
You douche. You idiot. Dunce. That's what I was going for.
Granny, Mom's hair was a light chestnut color. This is black.
Did we bring back a demon from hell?
It's a very dramatic scene because Ed's puking all over the place because
and you were okay.
And I was fine. Yeah, I think it's because I partially knew what was happening, and so yeah, Ed is very anxious. He's his whole body is rejecting this notion of finding out this truth of what exactly it was they brought back, but they're able to exhume the body, and the first thing that comes up is a piece of the hair. So Ed goes over and he cleans off the hair, and then he realizes that his mother had chestnut brown hair, and this thing has deep black hair. So then they're able to exhume the rest of the body, and they do some comparisons, and no part of the thing that they brought back is comparable to their mother.
It's femur. It's much too long. And this pelvis? Pretty sure it's male.
Back.
They're there.
Oh.
Time to get re-traumatized.
He's fine.
This is fine.
So I forget, what's the teacher's name again?
It really is impossible to bring the dead back to life. The undeniable truth. It was impossible all along. I'm okay, Granny.
Are
It's
we?
Okay. From the moment I made this thing, it's been
closure.
a symbol of my despair. But not anymore. Now it's an emblem of hope. Al can be returned to normal.
Fullmetal
Alchemist.
Alchemist.
Aw.
Fullmetal Alchemist. They were boys. Ed kind of has a bit of a breakdown here about this.
A little bit.
But it's this idea that, so Ed kind of realizes that once something is dead, it is gone. Like death is it. You cannot bring that thing back. So the thing that they brought back was not anything from the other side, from the veil of death. It was something completely new. And because of that, Ed is able to kind of realize, oh, maybe because of that, we can get Al's original body back.
Who didn't die.
Right, because it wasn't actually switched over from the veil of death. He just lost the body to get something, basically just get a bunch of spare parts from the junk pile. And because it wasn't an actual exchange across kind of the veil of death, there's this idea that Al's body is still out there somewhere. Mm-hmm. Did you have a question?
I did. I think you kind of answered though, because I was saying did they bring back somebody completely different that just wasn't there? That's the thing of oh, you say you want to bring this person back, but instead of but because you can't actually do that because it's a taboo, you bring back somebody completely different. But then you describe it as it was more just a mishmash of different bones, or a sewing alchemist of bones.
Oh, yeah, you get it.
That's traumatic.
But yeah, it's more of the idea of that, like, just because they put in the ingredients for a human life, you're not gonna get a specific human life.
It's also the concept of like those parts don't make a human.
Correct. Exactly.
It's like what a body's made out of.
Right.
So really just get a body. So it's like, oh, like, okay, here's like, okay, you got all that stuff. And yes, there's like some DNA. So maybe it was like an ancestor that they had bring back.
Or just something that may have like had the genetic makeup in it, but what wasn't it's not related to anything that was ever alive.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just a mishmash of body parts that wasn't actually a thing. We'll talk a little bit more about that. There's another kind of reveal later. So I think we'll circle back to that in a minute.
Bye.
Good night, you sad creature.
So we can never bring the dead back to life.
You never bring the dead back to life.
Like, it should be?
As it should be.
Curtis residence. I didn't expect this. You never call.
Yeah. It has to do with when you tried to transmute your baby.
Remember?
What about it, Ed?
Aw.
I'm sorry to ask you this, but the child you transmuted, are you sure that it was your child that you brought back?
Fair?
Yeah. Aw. Chefs enjoy meat life. Happy meat. After kind of we go through this discovery, we do a couple different things. And so Ed actually ends up calling Izumi in Doubleth just to be like, hey. And he doesn't really say it outright. He doesn't really say what he discovered. But there's a level of closure here to understanding what it was that got brought back that he needs to deliver to the Curtises. And he kind of asks Izumi, hey, that thing that you brought back, like, was it actually your baby? Were any of the physical characteristics actually related to the child that you lost? And Izumi just kind of like hangs up on him because it's obviously like a really like crazy,
trauma.
Yeah, it's bringing up that trauma and like a really tough question.
Thank you, Ed. It's good to know my son and his wife helped people.
Aw,
I'm proud of them.
lots of big feelings.
So Hohenheim, did he even bother to say where he was going?
Of course he didn't. And I didn't. What's wrong with me? I can't believe I forgot to give him the message.
A message?
What message?
I need him to know I couldn't keep my promise. I died before he did. And I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Promise? What promise?
You got me. Sorry to ask, but could you pass it on?
I think
if
that's
you
the
bump
promise.
into him?
Why should I have to?
I know it doesn't seem like it, but he does care about you and your brother.
It really doesn't seem like
It doesn't
it.
seem like it. I believe you. But
Yeah, Al's probably mad at me. I'm gonna have plenty of explaining to do.
buddy.
A lot of explaining to do. And before Ed ends up leaving to go back to Central, he does have a moment with Pinako where we kind of see the aftermath of him kind of explaining how the Rock Bells died. So Pinako's son and her daughter-in-law, and we can see kind of is sharing the story of what Ed learned in Xerxes, which is, hey, they were doctors, they helped everyone, they were highly respected by everyone.
Including the Ishvalans.
Yeah, including the Ishvalans, and they died doing the best that they could, pretty much.
So he didn't mention the murder part.
We don't really know. We don't really get the detail. We don't know how much of the detail he said about their death.
Because even earlier, like, it kind of, like,
died.
Pinako, like, knew, and then I'm like, but, like, we wouldn't have told her about Scar, because, like, why would she care about,
Yeah.
she doesn't know who Scar is, but, like, from the way you're saying it, just sounds like he didn't mention that, oh, by the way, like, your son and daughter-in-law were moited.
He may have said that without giving too much detail, but I think he gives her what she needs for kind of her closure on that, which is like that, hey, you raised a good one. So it's a little sad, actually, now I say it like that. Now I'm getting my feelings. Anyway, so, but Pinako, while they're having this conversation, realizes that, like, oh my gosh, she forgot to tell Ed something, she forgot to tell Hohenheim something, which was something that Trisha told her, and we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
but basically Trisha had a message when Trisha knew that she was dying. She had a message that she needed relayed to Hohenheim whenever he got back, because she knew that she was going to die before he returned. And it was basically like, hey, sorry, I broke our promise and I'm actually going to die before you. So it sounds like they had some kind of promise at some point with this idea that Trisha was going to be the one who lived longer.
That's kind of romantic.
Yeah.
In like a way, especially like if I'm going with like my theory of like who Hohenheim is.
Yeah.
Of like he would have like, and like that whole thing. So it's kind of like maybe like a joking promise of like when you're like having like a little like tender moment of like we kind of know how this is probably gonna end, but like it was gonna end so soon. So like that, I need to know more.
Yeah, it's it'll only hurt more the more that we learn.
God, it is so hard to not just like go on Wikipedia and just do all the research. I haven't.
Yes.
The only time I go on Wikipedia to look up Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is when I need the name of the episode.
Okay. Yeah.
And even then, I'm like very careful about like where I kind of just like make sure like it's scrolled like down enough or like up enough, whatever, so that I don't see the next title, and then I just like quickly like copy and paste.
Yeah, so there's more to Hohenheim and Trisha's story. It will probably break our hearts at some point. But as the theme of this episode is that there's certain people who know more than other people, and that is wildly shifting how we view certain characters. As it happens.
I still don't view Hohenheim as a good guy.
Oh no. I'm not going to give him a pass on the absent father thing.
I'll give him a pass if there was like some kind of like legitimate reason, and like considering who I think he is.
Yeah,
I'm not saying like it's a good legitimate reason, but like it could be like something I was thinking like. Again, like I thought like somebody was coming after them, and he needed to like leave to either like handle it or just like diverge who's ever after him.
Right.
Like that's why I thought somebody's after him, and somebody he was trying to diverge away from his family to protect them.
Right.
Which is like. That sucks that like you had to do that, but then it's also kind of like and like there was just no way to contact anybody, but it was like as long as but, like which is like I get that way, and it's like it doesn't make you a great person because like something in your past caused this, but then I'm also just like I mean you could like I mean at this point like if the thing goes away then you could come back and be like hey kids here's why I left, I'm sorry that I had to do this, and not what he actually did. Right
So I will be revealed in due time.
I do believe you. There's sometimes I don't believe you, but that time I do believe you.
You can believe me on this one, and other times you shouldn't believe me. Anyway, so Ed finally makes his way back to Central, and Al is beat up, and so they are able to kind of fill each other in about everything that's been going on.
What the hell?
I'm sorry, brother.
What? How are you this beat up?
A lot happened.
And you? What the hell are you doing here?
A lot happened.
Me.
Seriously, how did this happen to you?
Well, the good news is Lust is dead. I do love how, like, it's like, how am I going to tell Al all this stuff? Where it's like, honey, Al's been through it.
Al already has a lot that he needs to tell you too, so we got...
That was like half times when they were apart, I'm just like, Al, you're not going to believe what happened. Al, you're not going to believe what happened.
Right, I really like that both, I mean, this show has such a strong focus, obviously, on Brotherhood. It's literally called Brotherhood, and the relationship between them, but they're always very much their own people. There's never like, I mean, Ed is the main character, clearly, but Al is still such a strong character who's very much always doing his own thing, and even when they are kind of separate, they're both doing their own thing. So it's always cool to see kind of what shenanigans these boys get up to. Both
shenanigans make it sound like nothing traumatic's gonna happen.
Yeah,
shenanigans sounds like let's do a thing. Oh no, that thing happened, and then we learn and then we learn a life lesson, not like whatever the hell they've been through.
I dug up the body that we transmuted in Resembool.
Just casually, like, hey, remember that?
What? Why would you do that?
Because, Al, I found out that the thing we buried wasn't really our mother.
Also, remember the daddy issues we had?
Then that means...
The thing we made? I don't know what, but it was something completely different.
Then what happened to me?
That's just it. This has actually convinced me we can return you to normal.
Ed is able to divulge that, hey, the thing that we brought back was not actually our mother. And so my theory here is that your body is still out there somewhere. And kind of they're able to talk about that a little more.
He also didn't tell him about Papa, did he?
I don't think he actually mentioned Hohenheim at all. Or at least we don't see it.
Which is like a little. I don't know if it's confusing. It kind of just feels like there was a bigger thing, like more like it's kind of like our father doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's like he had served no purpose here, just other to show up and be annoying.
I guess it's also for me. I'm thinking of just like when Ed finding this out, like is gonna like that kind of causes him like I'm gonna move forward now, not back. So like because I felt the way with Izumi, where like when she called and like got like her results, it kind of felt like the closure thing, like okay, we had closed this chapter, let's keep going.
Yeah, exactly. And so we also kind of start talking a little bit more about what happened when Al's kind of soul was taken from his body when he was separated.
If I was able to pull that much of you out, then I've got a hunch that your body's still in there and I can pull it out.
Yes!
My body's still in the portal, existing separately from my soul? Like Barry's body!
Yeah, but not decrepit.
Right.
What did you see?
Let me just tap into my
I reached
traumatic
out,
memories.
and it was me. It was my hand I grabbed.
I knew it. Doesn't look like we're done with the truth yet, Al. We're gonna get in there and pull your body out.
Brother,
Yay.
after the portal, I remember looking at you from inside that thing. The thing we thought was Mom.
Remember?
You were inside of it?
Gross.
The thing was you?
It must have rejected me right away.
That wasn't Al though.
Right.
So that means we didn't harm anyone else's soul after all.
Aw.
Yay.
Yay.
Mr. Elric, you
Closure.
have a
And there is a moment that Al does recall that, like, he has memories from being from the point of view of, like, the weird creature they brought back.
Yeah.
So the idea is that Al's soul was not exchanged to bring back another soul. It was they just took his soul and just put it in that thing to create a life.
Yeah.
And again, we're literally just taking things from the scrapyard and putting it in there. We're taking Al's soul, we're just putting it right back in here instead of like taking it, moving it to the other realm and then bringing something back. So that's kind of par for the course as well. So you cannot create life in such a way. It just takes it from somewhere else. As we see in the show, where there's a lot of like souls getting dumped into places where they shouldn't.
phone call from Izumi Curtis.
How'd you track him down?
I did some research.
She knew where they
Sig and
were.
I looked up our family lines. And well, the child that I transmuted, it didn't have a single physical trait that could have come from us. You're onto something, aren't you?
Yes. I've come to the conclusion that death is permanent.
What?
So I thought that I must have missed something. But it was impossible to do in the first place. Ed,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
Aw.
Well, I'm not really sure why, but she said thank you.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's party.
I've been blaming myself for what happened.
Aw.
I thought it was me. I thought I was the one who killed Mom a second time.
Aw. Baby.
And so did I. Well,
Thanks, brother. Thank you.
Aw.
I wasn't the one who killed Mom after all.
I love.
Izumi.
I feel like I've been brought back to life.
Oh.
Our child wasn't made to suffer twice because of me.
Oh.
Somehow Izumi's able to figure out where Ed is because she makes some phone calls and she's able to get him back on the phone, and Izumi confirms that, like, oh, you're right, the thing that was brought back was not our child. It doesn't match any genetic markers that either of us have, and it was in no way like she kind of remarks that she's like, oh my god, I did not kill my child twice. And I think that's where a lot of the fear for both Ed and Al and for Izumi was, that this, like, it wasn't just that they brought a thing back and didn't go well. It was they failed in bringing something back, but brought their loved one back wrong, and then ended up having to kill that loved one again. So this idea that, like, they were responsible for killing some twice.
Yeah, like the loved one suffered because they brought them back, when in
Yeah.
reality that wasn't the case. So it's kind of like, okay, like I didn't.
And so they're both able to, like, kind of like move on, like have that closure and go from there.
but still, none of this changes the fact that I'm the one who put you in that body.
I was right there with you, and I knew that there were risks. So quit trying to shoulder all of this on your own. I can't watch you suffer like this. Not on your own. I can't just stand back and watch other people get hurt over what I've done. Like what happened to Mr. Hughes. I felt like it was my fault when I found out he was dead. And I told myself that if it meant other people getting hurt, then I don't even want my body back.
Mm-hmm.
And even in this body, it hasn't stopped other people from treating me like I'm still human. This body could reject me anytime, but it's the same with being human. You never know when you might get sick or die in an accident.
That's true.
So I can still get by like this. I can't take all the nights by myself.
Aw, baby.
It's too lonely, and that's why I have to get back to normal.
So look, all the trauma's gone. We're fine.
Hooray!
'Cause that's how trauma works.
That's how trauma works. So Ed and I'll have a good talk about like what it means to, you know, like where they're at, their thoughts along this journey. But I think we're ending the episode with the idea that we're gonna bring Al's body back, damn it, and we can do it.
He just doesn't want to be alone at night anymore.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I love you, baby. And
I wish there's a way to have a thing of just like somebody just like stays up all night with Ed or with Al like one night, like he's fucked off, but like
just so he's not lonely.
Yeah.
Just so he's not lonely.
Also, like he can't eat. Like why would like I want to eat?
Yeah.
Eating's nice.
Eating is nice.
Look at those biscuits.
Yo, I was just thinking about the biscuits. I'm not gonna lie. Those biscuits were good.
I went to a biscuit place. We didn't even try the biscuit donuts yet.
Oh my god, I might do that after this.
Sure, and you're going to.
Yeah.
We'll knock that truth jerk on his butt.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna pull your body right out of that place.
Yeah.
By the way, Papa was there.
Hey, you know our father.
Also, did we tell Winry about our parents?
Nope.
No?
Huh? That's weird. Have his shoulders always been so broad?
He's growing up.
Girl.
And the episode kind of ends with Ed and Al like excited about this next step of the journey and walking away, and then Winry kind of catches them walking away and like remarks about Ed and is like, "Oh, when did his shoulders get so broad?" Which like we can read in like a ooh kind of way. We can also read as in like the suddenly realizing that people are like the loved ones around you are growing up and becoming.
Yeah, I think was this conversation in this episode or in the next episode? I forget about like how Ed doesn't have the memory of Al and Ed fighting about who gets to marry Winry, and then Winry turning both of them down.
Yeah.
Well, Winry, do you remember when Al and I got in a fight when we were kids about who'd marry you?
What?
The fight we've been talking about on the roof?
Yeah, that one. Al told me you turned him down.
Mm-hmm. Turned you both down.
As you should.
So what was your reasoning?
She said...
I just don't like men who are shorter than me.
You can't judge a man for something he can't help!
I don't really see how this has anything to do with getting
But you know what, Winry? I know what happened to your parents.
To be sure,
Stop.
Al had a memory of something I don't recall. You seem to clearly remember it the same way, Winry. Which means that it happened without a doubt. So now that we know you remembered something real, then we also know for a fact that really is Al bonded in there.
I think it was this because that kind of made me like think like that's where it coming from. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
That. And basically saying, and she said like I don't date people who are shorter than me.
Yeah.
Which like I kind of get. I'm a little bit like that, but also I'm short, so like it's not hard to be taller than me.
You got more options.
I think my issues with my height is that my height mainly comes from my torso. Like my legs are short.
Yeah,
but
that's okay.
Which is not good for pants.
No, but it's convenient when we're recording though, because you look taller like this from here because no one sees your legs. Anyway, Tara, what do you think of this episode?
I liked. It feels like a nice. I don't know. For some reason, like this kind of felt like a semi I don't know if this was like the midpoint.
Yeah.
Finale, but it felt like a midpoint of like we closed off a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And we're like gung go.
Yeah, like it's definitely like an episode of closure, not in the way where we're really ending anything, but it's like it's a lot of emotional closure for characters in the way that we get to see people we haven't seen in a hot minute, get some reveals, and like kind of just tie up some loose ends in a way that helps propel us forward to get back into the action.
I'm kind of not satisfied with like the Hohenheim stuff.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it just felt like okay, that's like the first time meeting him, but like it was just so little.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just like
very anticlimactic in the way where it's not just like, oh, my father. It's just like, oh, this
see more of him, but like it kind of felt. I thought there was gonna be like I guess I thought like a good chunk of the episode was gonna be us like talking with Papa.
Yeah.
About like, hey, what's going on? Yeah. Why'd you leave? Your wife died. Why didn't you come back?
Right, exactly.
Like that feels like a good reason to come back.
Yeah.
And hey, like maybe if you would have taught us more about alchemy, we wouldn't have tried to bring her back and be in this situation.
Yeah. Maybe.
Also, how did he know about the transmutation thing, or did like?
That's a great question.
Did Pinako tell him?
I think.
I spoke with Pinako. You tried human transmutation.
And we're not telling Winry about... I feel like we need to tell Winry about... I feel like she deserves to know what happened to her parents, not necessarily who did it.
Right.
That's my thing. I feel like she needs to know that.
Correct.
It's hard to tell somebody that.
Oh, yeah. It's really hard to be like, hey...
But there's, like, good stuff in there. Like, saying, like, hey, like, even, like, the Ishvalans who were, like, our enemy.
Yeah.
Like, they loved and respected your parents, and they're really ashamed that, like, one of their own killed them.
Yeah. I'm sure that will get addressed at some point. Anyway, don't worry, Dara. We'll get to it.
I believe you.
We'll get to it sooner than later. Anyway, so
which means today.
Would you like some trivia?
Yes.
So here's some episode notes, as they call it. Oh, yeah, that's true. So this episode is adapted from content in the chapter 42, chapter 43, and chapter 44 of the manga. The transmutation circle, which appears in the background of this episode's title card, is the much of the lighthearted arguing on Ed's side to his father was cut from the anime version. Due to that, the glimpse of Hohenheim's softer, humorous side doesn't show itself until later. I was just thinking about that because there's a scene I'm thinking of that was in the manga, which was really funny, and I think it was here where if you noticed, like when we came into this episode, the past few episodes, Ed's hair has been in a ponytail.
Yeah.
And Hohenheim also wears a ponytail. So there's a really funny scene in the manga where Hohenheim goes, "Oh my god, your hair looks like mine," and then Ed gets really pissed and immediately braids it, like while staring at him directly in the eye.
But in this, like, his hair is already braided. And
no, like, when he meets Hohenheim, his hair is in a ponytail. But then when we see him on the train back to Central, then his hair is braided again, and I was like, oh wait, we missed that on that scene, which is really funny, which I really missed from the manga.
So why does Ed unbraid his hair when he goes to bed? I'm just saying, because then it gets like matted. Like if you braid it,
it's more. Maybe it's like sometimes if your hair's up for too long, it can like hurt your scalp. So maybe that's just
but like I know like me, like whenever like if I don't really wear my hair down when I'm sleeping, but like if I do, it kind of just gets like bajam.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Maybe he has a good.
I know it's not like the biggest issue.
Oh yeah. Hohenheim deliberately begins talking about the creature that was brought back when he realizes Ed is eavesdropping, which I kind of called. I was like, it seems very obvious that he he knew that he was listening in, so that's why he's like, so anyway, about the thing.
But you know what I'm thinking now? That seems kind of like his way of like being nice.
Yes.
Because it's like, okay, I need to like put this in my kid's head, and then he'll find it, and then he'll get closure.
And he kind of knows that. Well, and it's hard because I don't know if he's doing it that way because he knows that Ed will not listen to him, or if because he doesn't know how to have a direct conversation with his son. I think it's a little bit of both. So he's like, he's trying to...
What's the phrase? Porque no las dos.
Porque no las dos. I think that's really what it is. And because Hohenheim is very awkward as a person and doesn't know how to sometimes, I think, be direct with his child.
I wonder why he's awkward as a person.
It's a great question. But it is really much, he does that in a way to say like, hey, like he's been around the block. He's been around, so I'm sure he understands about the guilt and the grief that his children are feeling, even though if he's not helping with that in any way because Hohenheim. But like I think he does want to help them in a way and subtly is putting things in his way to help them. So it's a shame that again we don't get to see some of the funnier stuff with Hohenheim here because it's cut for time. But like it's funny. There is some
listen, he just needs to like go to his son and just like put like his hand on his shoulder and be like, listen son, there's no time for us. There's no place for us. What is this thing that builds our dreams set aside for us?
What's that a reference to?
It's the Queen song.
Oh my god, I'm such an idiot.
Who wants to live forever?
The layers to that joke are really good.
I was like, wait, did I get the lyrics wrong?
No. I only know the chorus.
That Queen song that kind of makes me get emotional every time I listen to it, but I've heard listened to it too much.
That's fair.
And not even with the scene from Highlander, which is also just like emotional.
Who wants to live forever? I think that's probably relevant to this episode in a way. Anyway, so
you only want to live forever is if you have somebody to live forever with.
True.
Like in Bacano.
Oh my god, true. Yeah, they're having a great time because they just live forever with all their buddies.
Yeah.
They just have all their friends and they're like, immortality's not so bad. Which is a very funny thing about that show.
No idea what's going on even when they were in 2001 in New York.
Anyway, that was... I think we should call this episode here.
Yeah.
I think we should call it.
We still have another episode to talk about.
Yes, we do. Oh my god, how long have we been going for? Like an hour? 40 minutes?
No, like 45 minutes.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about episode 21, Advance of the Fool. Stay tuned. He's growing up.
Girl.
It all out. Let it all out.
I like that. There was like some like resolution.
Yeah. You can take another scooch if you need to.
You want to be close to me?
Yeah. Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Except when there's a pandemic.
Yeah, that was not as much fun.
Dickhead. Dog.
Bye, Den.
Just tell me you're gonna get your body back. Okay.
What's this music?
They play this a lot. It's a motif. He just keeps on hurling.
A homunculus and bury the chopper. And just to throw a cherry on top, you find out your body might reject your soul.
Good thing we're all caught up.
I'm gonna have to extend what little you have left of your armor.
But like, I still don't like Papa.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. He wasn't great
He was
there.
all like, "You idiot," and I'm like, "Hey."
He was all like,
"Father who left me."
Hey, it's been 10 years since I saw you. Anyway, why are you such an idiot?
But
It doesn't even say good to see you.
But there's more. There's definitely more.
I can live a somewhat normal life, and that's how I've managed to keep
I mean,
going.
mine is sleeping and eating. Oh, is there like a Pokemon store in Japan?
Many. They have multiple stores dedicated to just Pokemon.
Is Nintendo World in Japan or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's in Osaka, in Universal Studios. I did not get to go there, but I get to the Nintendo store in both Tokyo and Osaka.
Oh, what's that?
It was very nice. I bought things. I spent money.
And you still have plenty of yen left.
Yep. Oh.
Good thing we have jobs.
Good thing we have jobs.
And not just this.
But I do love Pokemon. Okay, most BL is trash because most BL is it's like the fluffiest, cutest, like sweetest, like most innocent thing.
So it's like a romance novel or like a young adult novel.
Yeah, but then it has one weird, questionable consent scene. Like most BL has like a weird consent scene in it where it's like because it's like this idea of like a man forcing himself on his lover is like hot while the other one's like I'm not really sure about this.
So it's like most romance novels are young adult novels.
Yeah, but it feels weird and bad, especially.
Doesn't it feel bad young adult novels as well?
Oh yeah.
I was thinking
but
of like
it's I think it's the added problematic too of like being like contributing to like I want like healthy like queer representation. It's like you're not always gonna get it.
I guess
there's a couple that are good. There's a couple that are guilty pleasures.
I was thinking because I was just watching a video about a different novel that Colleen Hoover wrote.
Oh, which one?
November 9th.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I know of that. I know what happens in it.
It's
sketch.
And it's like it's the same sketch because like of everything. I think it's like coming popped again because the movie just came out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like all that tea behind that. Even though I think that there's less drama from that than than what's being reported.
Yeah. I watched a really interesting video on that. Somebody explaining that. I was like, oh, interesting.
I don't for some reason because it's just like people like saying stuff, and I'm kind of like or just like reading into stuff, and like I guess like nowadays. I guess like after I think it was like after like some stuff with like when I was like Hailey Bieber, I'm just like I don't trust people to just like read like body language or like minute stuff on like Instagram because like that can mean nothing.
So true.
So, like, literally if somebody says, like, oh, but they did this, or, like, they're not participating in this kind of thing, I'm just kind of like, that could mean a million different things.
It's true.
Like, I remember, like, with it, like, and this, I know remember this wasn't brought up, like, with Infinity War, like, Chris Evans wasn't doing a lot of, like, the press with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, nobody said anything, but the reason that he was doing that because he was in a play in New York.
Yeah.
So he had to stay in New York.
Right. And so, like, you don't know other people's lives.
Right. So it's kind of like, like, it's probably not, like, especially with celebrities, people are like, oh, like, they do this or they do that. And, like, we truly don't know them.
It's true. We really don't, we only see, like, what we're allowed to see.
Yeah.
You know? And even if we see, like, something that's a little more...
Like, people don't, I don't know if people, like, truly, like, we're, like so open with, like, what we like in, like, pop culture, but, like, people don't truly know us. I mean, I know you.
I would hope so, after this long.
Yeah.
But it's...